If you're working on an industrial or medical design, you know there will be a mountain of boxes to check in order to get your design out the door. Since a good portion of these designs need to run 24/7, 365 days a year, we need to consider EMC issues, connectivity reliability, component traceability and longevity, security certifications and regulations. Yeah, I could go on and on. But if you also want design elements from the consumer market as well, like high performance processors with AI capabilities and Android and Yocto OS support for quick time to market, then we should talk about the Ezurio collaboration with MediaTek and their Tungsten 510 and Tungsten 700 families of systems on modules. Hi, I'm Amelia Dalton, host of Chalk Talk. In this episode of Chalk Talk, Pejman Kalkhoran from Ezurio and I explore the biggest challenges for medical and industrial embedded designs. We also investigate the benefits that Ezurio's Tungsten 700 and 510 Psalms bring to these kinds of designs, and how you can get started using them in your next application. And before we get started, don't forget to click that link. There you can find even more information about this topic from Ezurio. Hi, Pejman. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me here today, Amelia. I'm very excited to talk about SOMs and SBCs in the industrial and medical markets.
Excellent. All right. So, first off, Pejman, what all will we be covering today?
So today, the goal is to discuss the industrial and medical markets, what things are important for customers in that space, what happens when things go wrong for those types of customers, and based on our experience, what are some of the things that Ezurio can do to help mitigate those risks? And one of those key tools in our tool belt is our relationship with MediaTek. How does the MediaTek Genio family of processors lend itself to be used in industrial and medical markets?
Fantastic. So, talk to me a little bit about Ezurio. What kind of solutions do you guys offer?
So Ezurio is a very unique company, Amelia. We are actually one of the few companies in the world that have these four pillars that you see on your screen. So first of all, we have wireless modules. We have a broad portfolio of wireless technologies, including Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and LoRa. To combine that, we have the SOMs and SBCs. SOM stands for System on Module. These are the compute platforms, the brains of the product. They integrate the wireless module. So as you can see, very synergistic uses for both of them. The third pillar is our internal antennas. These are antennas that we've designed specifically to work with our wireless modules to provide the best performance. And finally, you combine all three of these disciplines, the wireless modules, the SOMs and SBCs, and the internal antennas, and you get an IoT device, which is a finished good that we can provide to our customers. So all in all, with these four pillars, Ezurio is your connectivity expert.
Fantastic. So, Pejman, walk me through the history of Ezurio and how you guys got to where you are today.
So although Ezurio as a brand is very new, we actually launched that brand this year. You can see that we have a long history in the wireless space. Over the last 20 years, there have been multiple acquisitions, starting with wireless, proprietary RF, Bluetooth, different Wi-Fi and Bluetooth modules and antennas and services. And then most recently, with the acquisition of boundary devices, we've added SOMs and SBCs. So with all of these different acquisitions, we're providing years and years of support and expertise. And all of these companies combined are now known as Ezurio.
Okay. And you guys have centers across the globe, right?
Yeah, we have design centers in North America, in Europe, and in Asia. And I think we have a global footprint to allow us to be able to service customers all across the world. But I'd like to point out particularly, we do have a heavy presence in North America. You can see 3 facilities in North America, including a manufacturing facility in Irvine. So for those customers that are in North America, you get same time zone service, same time zone support with a broad engineering team. But if you are based in Europe or you're based in Asia, we do have design centers and support resources in all of the regions.
Fantastic. Now, let's look specifically at the medical and industrial markets. What kind of applications are we talking about specifically around these areas?
Well, the medical and industrial markets are booming as we all want to add more and more technology to help consumers, to help each other to become more efficient. Every single area that you see on this screen is growing rapidly. And I really wanted to define what is a medical and an industrial customer because it's critical for the rest of the discussion. So as you can see here, there's robotics. So any type of robot, whether it's in your home, whether it's in the factory, whether it's out in the woods for firefighters, there's all kinds of new robotic applications. This fits under the industrial umbrella. Human machine interfaces, you're seeing a proliferation of touchscreens all across these industries to provide better interfaces between humans and the machines. You have a couple of very key medical verticals here, patient monitoring and infusion pumps. These are areas which fall under that medical umbrella, but all of us have been to hospitals and doctors' offices and dentists' offices now. They all have technology in there to, again, provide better value to the consumer. Smart agriculture is a huge growing field where we're trying to improve the yield of crops to make our food supplies more efficient, utilizing technology. Digital signage has been around a really long time, but companies are looking for more innovative ways to get in front of their customers, and digital signage is one of those. And then finally, I'll kind of lump together the industrial IoT and the auto identification and data capture as really factory automation. So our factories are trying to become more automated, more efficient to produce better products and to be competitive on a global scale. So these are the big verticals. It's not an exhaustive list of all the medical and industrial customers, but I wanted everyone to see what are we talking about when we say medical and industrial customer.
So, Pejman, what design concerns do you think are especially important for the medical and industrial markets?
Well, there are four key areas based on our over 20 years experience in these spaces that we've seen are critical to these types of customers. First and foremost, it's supply chain and lifecycle maintenance. So industrial and medical customers are typically involved in regulated industries, and regulated industries take a lot longer to launch products into them. So it takes multiple years to launch a new product in these spaces. So having a product that's around for 10 plus years is critical. You can't have a Samsung tablet in an FDA environment because that tablet is changing every 6 months. By the time your FDA approval is done, you've already had to change product 3 times. So you need a product that's going to be around a really long time. And change is very costly and time consuming because it takes so long. And you have to go through these regulatory bodies. We need to have tools in place to be able to minimize the amount of change for these customers. And finally, having traceability. Again, in an industrial medical case, things have to work all the time. So 5 years down the line, you want to know what component was used in that product in order to be able to trace it down. The second main pillar is quality. Everybody wants quality. Every industry wants high quality, obviously, but it's particularly important for these two industries because product failures are very, very costly to repair and replace. A lot of these devices are in the middle of nowhere, and sending somebody out there to replace them costs hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to have a technician go and replace a robot that's out in the farms. The second thing is most of these industries are harsh use cases, whether it's 24/7 operation, these devices are running all the time. A lot of them are outdoors, so they're subject to thermal and temperature fluctuations as well as humidity. So their harsh use case environments mean that the product has to have excellent quality and can't fail. Imagine you're in the hospital and your device fails. That's a damage to your reputation. So failures, not only are they expensive to fix, but they damage the brand. And so having high quality is more important for this type of industry than I'd say most. You can buy something online, and if your toaster fails after 3 months, you just go buy another one. You can't do that with a patient monitor or an infusion pump. And the final point on quality is we want to really reduce the risk in all aspects of your product design. You can release a product and maybe it doesn't fail, but it's not performing the way you need it to. And it's causing constant amount of engineering resources to go to try to improve the performance. And that falls under that quality bucket. The third one is support and time to market. So back to the new product launch process, having engineering support, holding your hand through this process is critical for these types of customers. They don't have time to wait 3-4 days for someone in another country to get back to them about why their widget is not working the way it's supposed to. And whether that's you're in North America or whether in Europe or Asia, you want to have in time zone support. both on the hardware and software side. You also need support through the life of this product. This thing needs to last for 10 plus years. That doesn't mean just the hardware. It means security and software updates. How do you maintain these devices? How do you constantly iterate them so our consumers are secure and the devices are secure? So that's kind of fits under this support and time to market. Very important for medical and industrial customers. And finally, performance. We've all had the issue where our hardware doesn't work the way we want it to. We move our laptop from one room to the other, and all of a sudden the Wi-Fi drops. That's not acceptable for an industrial medical customer. The device has to always work. It has to always connect. So Wi-Fi connectivity is crucial for those devices that have Wi-Fi. The product cannot be restarted, right? You can't go turn on your TV and turn it off and hope it works the next time. These devices are in 24/7 operation. They have to consistently perform. So making sure the performance is meeting its expectations at all times. And finally, on the processor performance, you want to have some scalability. So what you start with today, you have some room in order to scale up and to be able to meet the demands of the software updates and the security updates of the future. So these are the four main pillars that we found that are very important for medical and industrial customers.
So, what kinds of issues or challenges are you seeing here?
Well, unfortunately, when things go wrong, people typically lose their jobs because they have such a big impact throughout the organization. The first thing is product delays, and this is probably the most prevalent issue that comes up. Companies lose millions of dollars by having product delays. You're losing revenue because your product is not out there, or your competitors are taking market share because their product is available and yours isn't. Poor quality and design causes additional revisions of hardware. You have to continuously build multiple prototypes or multiple versions of it in order to get it out. Those are very costly. And finally, you're just wasting engineering resources trying to reinvent the wheel. So we see a lot of product delays with astronomical cost increases because of some of these issues. And then the third point is certification challenges, especially in the wireless space. EMC issues are very difficult to fix because you can't see it. You can't see radiated emissions, well, at least with a naked eye. And so it's very difficult to resolve the problems. And what ends up happening is you have to go to multiple different vendors in order to get resolution. You have to talk to the Wi-Fi vendor. You have to talk to the certification lab. You have to have your own compliance and engineering teams involved. There's a lot of moving parts that go into that. And we've just seen tons of delayed launches because of EMC issues. And so it really does require knowledge of complex regulatory rules and regulations in order to properly pass these. These are some of the issues that we see industrial and medical customers battle with all the time, and it's been a big challenge for them.
All right. So, how can Ezurio help solve these issues?
The first thing that we've done is we've moved to a standards-based design. So what that means is our wireless modules and our SOMs are on industry standard products. So they're known as SMARC and OSM for our SOMs and M.2 1216 for our Wi-Fi modules. So what happens when you use a standards-based design is the pinouts are predefined. So customers can design quicker, they can get to market faster, they can utilize existing technology that's already been validated and tested and certified to plug into their product. And what we found is that utilizing these pre-designed modules increase time to market by an average of 9 to 12 months. This helps, again, customers get to market quicker, and it helps address many of the challenges I brought up before about the EMC compliance, the supply chain, and the longevity. Having a standards-based module allows you to second source the device. We all saw during COVID and the electronics shortage that we couldn't get parts, and we were stuck with one vendor. By using SMARC OSM and the M.2 1216 footprints, you have options to go to multiple different vendors in case you can't get the products. It also forces those vendors to produce quality products at a reasonable cost to the consumer or to the customer, because if not, there's a second source waiting around the corner, happy to take that business. And the third point around standards-based is you have scalability. So you can move from Wi-Fi 5 to Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 6 to Wi-Fi 6E or different SOM modules to add or subtract performance based upon your project without having to redesign your entire platform. So these are checking off the things that are very important to industrial medical customers as it comes to scalability and longevity. The second major point is the in-house manufacturing and certification that Ezurio has. So we have wireless and EMC regulatory experts in-house. This is very unique. All of those certification issues I spoke about before, we can help resolve those for customers because we've been doing it for so many years and we have our own lab. Our US based or in-house manufacturing allows us to have full component traceability and quality control. So that whole quality piece that we spoke about, the major challenges, the brand damage that can come from having poor quality, we can control those in a way that maybe others can't because they're outsourcing that manufacturing. And having the in-house manufacturing gives us flexibility on the schedule and longevity of the projects. We can build them as long as we want to. Having a dedicated US-based engineering and global support teams allows us to solve that support piece that I spoke about. Having security updates and software updates for our customers is very important for the industrial and medical market, and it's one of our main value propositions. We have tremendous Wi-Fi expertise. As I mentioned in the original slide about the history of the company, we've been doing wireless for many, many years, and our Sona family of Wi-Fi 6 and 6E options allow customers to integrate, whether into our SMARC modules or into their own designs, a state-of-the-art wireless solution. And finally, we have partners such as MediaTek, which is really what I want to get into. MediaTek has a Genio family of processors, which have been designed specifically for the medical and industrial markets with excellent graphics and processing performance. Having these types of vendors and solutions allows us to address the challenges of the industrial and medical customer.
All right, so let's talk about MediaTek as well.
Yeah, so MediaTek is the fourth largest fabless and ninth largest semiconductor company in the world. You may not know them, but you're definitely using their products. They are number one in almost every consumer electronics space: digital televisions, smartphones, laptops, speakers, routers. MediaTek is everywhere. But what you may be saying is, well, these are consumer type products, Pejman. Why are you talking about them here? And the reason I want to bring it up is because what MediaTek is doing is taking the state-of-the-art processing performance and technology and bringing it to the industrial and medical markets with their Genio family of processors, which we will talk about next.
All right, so let's talk about those solutions as well. What MediaTek solutions are a good choice for these specific markets?
So MediaTek has introduced the Genio family of processors. They are four processors that are designed and put together for the industrial and medical market. As you can see, they have extremely high processing power, multi-core, up to 8-core devices with top-of-the-line graphics processors in them, and very low power consumption. The history of these devices is from the consumer electronics world, and what MediaTek has done is taken all the best pieces of the consumer electronics world and added in the requirements needed for industrial and medical markets to create a purpose-built processor tailored for these industries. You can see here they have 10 years of hardware longevity support, which is critical for these markets because, as we discussed earlier, change management is a nightmare. They have high-performance processors with artificial intelligence capabilities built into them for the next generation of technology that everybody is releasing. And they have the best in-class Android availability and performance. If your product needs Android, or if you have your own Android app that you want to now run on a purpose-built device, this MediaTek platform is ideal for those customers.
Fantastic. Now, Ezurio and MediaTek have collaborated quite a bit, right?
Yes, so our job with MediaTek is to help enable it for the masses and to bring it to the industrial and medical markets. We have direct resources within the MediaTek engineering teams to help resolve any issues, and our team has been trained to be able to support all of the Genio family of processors that we have. So we have a Tungsten 700 SMARC and a Tungsten 510 SMARC based on the Genio 700 and Genio 510 processors. These processors are pin compatible, so as you need to scale up or scale down your performance, you can swap out the different SMARC modules. We've also integrated a Sona MT320 Wi-Fi module into the SMARC SOM. So now not only are you getting the best of the MediaTek processing world, but you're getting the best of their wireless expertise as well. And we have a carrier board, which is our smart carrier board, to allow customers to evaluate these system-on modules and Wi-Fi modules. We have direct Android and Yocto support in-house to support our customers to get to market quickly, but also to help them manage and maintain their software for the life of their projects. So essentially, we are MediaTek's partner to help enable the Genio family of processors in the industrial and medical markets. Customers will come to us for that first line of support, and if there's anything that we don't know the answer to, which is rare, we'll go to the MediaTek team to help us resolve those issues.
Fantastic. So, if my audience wants to get started Pejman, where should they go?
Well, we have carrier kits on the Tungsten 700 and 510 SOM from Mauser. So this is where you got to go. As soon as you purchase one of these kits, you can get access to the software. We also provide design files for our carrier boards to enable customers to get to market quickly. That's a theme of all of the discussion here is how do we get customers to market fast with a very reliable product that's already gone through the hoops and the certifications that are needed. So go to Mauser and buy your kit now.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Pejman, I think that's all I have time for today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And before we go, you didn't forget to click that link, did you? There you can find even more information about this topic from Ezurio. For Chalk Talks, I'm Amelia Dalton from eejournal.com. For more Chalk Talks, head on over to the Chalk Talks section of EE Journal. You can't miss it, it's right across the top. Or head on over to YouTube, youtube.com/EEJournal.